Alrighty. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Pilgrim's Path podcast. Boy, have I got a treat for you today. We're going to be talking about this book here, Galahad and the Grail. This is a new book, brand new, as clean as you could imagine, and as you can see, it's quite beautiful. Now take a look at that. I don't know how good you can see it, but that is prime design right there. If you turn a couple of pages into, oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's just, it's worth it. If you don't know much about the story of the Holy Grail, then I highly recommend this book. If you have a hankering for some good old-fashioned poetry, then I highly recommend this book. If you have a strong desire for a good story told from the perspective of a Christian, a passionate Christian, then I highly recommend this book. There are so many reasons. If you want to be enchanted, brought into an enchanted world of fairy, then I highly recommend this book. If you want to read a modern book written in such a way as to feel like it was written by an inkling, I highly recommend this book. There are so many good reasons to buy this book. Now, I bought this on Amazon for about $36, I believe, plus shipping. It was about $40. And I don't regret it. I read it in the span of, I believe it was 6 days. And it's just wonderful. It's beautiful. It's an adventure. Now, this is within the story of King Arthur and the Sword and the Stone. Chronologically, though, it is the last episode of that story, of that epic, which is interesting. Why the author Malcolm Guite decided to do that. I wonder if it wasn't because most stories, or a lot of stories anyhow, begin in the middle of things, and that's actually something that Aristotle himself taught in his book, The Poetics. He taught that stories are best told, best introduced, begun in the middle of things. It gets the reader captivated, interested, and you can throw things in your world into the story without necessarily having to explain them right away. And it intrigues the reader. It brings them into the world that you're trying to develop without spoiling too much. Now, yeah, here we have Malcolm Guite, who is this is the only book that I've read by him thus far, but he's from what I can tell, a tremendous poet, a tremendous writer. That's a nice, beautiful little drawing of him from the artist of the book, Stephen Krotz, who's also a very good illustrator and a Christian as well. Now, if you're interested in books about chivalry that have strong moral messages from a Christian standpoint about honesty, loyalty, chivalry, integrity, knighthood, going on a quest and staying true to your word and seeking the Grail to restore the land. And this is primarily a book about restoration. One of the main themes throughout is restoration. The land is groaning. As we see in Romans chapter 8, the whole creation groans awaiting the second coming of Christ. And in this story, the whole land groans awaiting the restoration of the land by the Grail seeker, the Grail Knight, the one who will find the Grail and restore the land and heal the Fisher King, and the healing of the Fisher King who was wounded by the spear that pierced Jesus Christ. is what will actually bring about the healing of the land, interestingly enough. So healing and restoration is a big theme in this story. Yeah, also, if you're interested simply in a good poem, this is written in ballad form. So it's written not just to rhyme, but to be rhythmic. It has a great rhythm to it. And as he says in the introduction to the book, it's primarily meant to be read aloud, which I haven't done yet, but I will be doing, and I cannot wait to read this to my children and to my wife. And it's going to be great. It just brings you into the world of fairy so well. It enchants you in a very, very similar way to how Lewis or Tolkien had a way of enchanting their readers. And if you're a fan of Tolkien or Lewis, then that is another big reason to get this book, because Malcolm Guite is also a big fan of Tolkien and Lewis. And often on his YouTube channel, which I will leave a link in the description for, he reads sections out of the Lord of the Rings or the Chronicles of Narnia, and he is an Anglican priest. So in the story also here, there is a great almost you might almost think about it. Oh my god. You might almost think about it as a Roman Catholic, Eastern Orthodox perspective on real presence and the sacredity of objects. So the Holy Grail is, a sacred object. The spear that pierced Jesus Christ is a sacred object. To where when it is used in an evil way to pierce Fisher King, it actually brings the whole land into a state of groaning and waiting and barrenness, right? So the objects have an objectivity about them. They actually have an importance to them, and an efficacy to them. So they're efficacious for something. And then there's also Solomon's ship that Joseph of Arimathea sailed, that Jesus gave him the spear and the grail and the great shield that Galahad picks up to sail to the land of the Britons. And so, also if you're hankering for a taste of the British high British lifestyle, this is a great book to read. Now, I'm going to read just a little section, the prelude, actually. Hopefully, I'm not going to get copyrighted for this, but just a small section. Now, this is Malcolm Guite speaking in first person. As I walked out one morning, all in the soft fine rain, it seemed as though a silver veil was shining over hill and vale, as though some lovely long-lost spell had made all new again. And through that shimmer in the air, I seemed to hear a sound, as though a distant horn were blown in some lost land I had known, that seemed to speak from tree and stone and echo all around. And with the music came these words, "Poet, take up the tale. Take up the tale, this land still keeps, in earth and water magic sleeps. The dryad sighs, the naiad weeps, but you can lift the veil. From where the waves wash Cornwall's caves, out to the White Horse Vale, the lands still hold the tale of old, like hidden treasure, buried gold. Once more the story must be told. Poet, take up the tale. Tell of the king who will return, tell of the Holy Grail, tell of old knights and chivalry, tell of the pristine mystery of Merlin's Isle of Gramarye. Poet, take up the tale. Take up the tale of courtesy, take up the tale of grace, revive the land's long memory, summon that fair folk, let them be. Something of fairy, wild and free, still lingers in this place. Lift up your eyes to see the light on Glastonbury Tor. Then come down from that far green hill to where the sacred waters spill, and shine within the chalice well, and listen to their lore. Yea, listen well before you start, be still ere you begin. See through the surface round about, the noise, the rush, the fear, the doubt. Though modern Britain lies without, fair Logres lives within. You may yet walk through Merlin's Isle, by oak and ash and thorn. The ancient hills do not forget, and you might wake their wisdom yet. Who knows what wonders might be met on this midsummer morn? So I have taken up the tale, to tell it full and free. The tale that makes my heart rejoice, I tell it, for I have no choice. I tell it till another voice takes up the tale from me. And that is how the whole book sounds, the entirety of it, and it's wonderful. And there's just another illustration. I hope I'm not going to get copyrighted for this. If so, I'll have to just edit some of these sections out of the video, but yes. So, Galahad and the Grail, if you want to be taken into an enchanting world of magic and mystery and delight and delicacy and not just that, but actually integrity as well, and chivalry and knighthood and a great epic tale of a quest for the Holy Grail, then I highly recommend that you go and buy Galahad and the Grail by Malcolm Guite. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, if you enjoy listening to book reviews or film reviews, or if you yourself want to be commissioned on the quest to re-enchant the world by poetry, by story, by fairy, then I highly recommend that you like this video and subscribe to my channel and help me get this message out into the world. We want to re-enchant the world. We don't just want to teach theology and doctrine, but we also want to teach the love of beauty. We want to teach people to see through the eyes of the Lord and to see His creation as good. To have a nice foaming cup of beer, a nice pipe in hand, and a wonderful, beautiful tale of truth in mythic lands. I thank you for listening.